This is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to talk about improved Berliner records. The very earliest ones, in the very beginning of their production. This is one. You see this? This is an improved Berliner gramophone record. 1901-ish. But the thing is, there's no information whatsoever on this record. I'm almost positive it's from a Victor master. Where else would it be? And what also surprises me is since there is no information on that record itself, this is what I think they might have done. Now, we know about, in Europe, with the Gramophone and Typewriter Company, that they had their process of making copies of records. And how they would do it, they would take the stamper, press it into a wax master, and make a new recording. Now, there was a reason for this. First off, the system of making stampers in the age of pre-1903 basically was this. You could make your recording and you could make one stamper from it. When that stamper was done, it was over. However, they discovered that by pressing the stamper into wax, they could make more copies. And for the Gramophone and Typewriter Company, they would always mark copy on the record. Victor was a little loath to do that. In fact, if you think about it, in the first Red Seal series of 1903, many of those recordings that we had stampers to make the 5000 series for were from copied records. Therefore, the records from that stamper in the Gramophone and Typewriter Company would be marked copy. For Victor, they never allowed copy to be seen. And Victor never really wanted anyone to really know this, that anything was a copy. So everything was very carefully coded, or nothing at all. One can think of transcriptions, the S8 and things like that. But this is going back quite a bit. But think about this, as I said, this recording, there's nothing on it at all to say what it is. But we kind of know it's from a Victor. And so maybe they had that process. Maybe they figured that process out. I can't see perhaps how they wouldn't have. It seems to make sense. When I was thinking about making copies of records, I used to sit there and say, why didn't they just take a stamper and push it? Until I learned that that's what they did. So maybe the Victor Company, starting in 1900, 1901, started taking their stampers and pressing them into wax. Why not? It makes sense. And it's a logical progression. So perhaps many of these recordings for the improved Berliner gramophone, which were starting in 1901 to 1902, were from wax masters that were stamped. Therefore, a lot of the information on the record doesn't carry through. And in the case of this one, as you can see, there's nothing here at all. And so that makes it somewhat suspect for me. And so I'm going to suggest that perhaps it wasn't just the Gramophone and Typewriter Company making copies like this. That there's a very good chance that Victor, in 1901 and 1902, was stamping wax masters and making copies. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised, and I'm sure it was done quite liberally. Something to think of and something to study, because I haven't found any information on it, but it seems almost logical that they might have done that. Thank you.